Hey there, welcome back. Today we are going to be doing some ASMR with foods from my pantry. I just thought this would be fun because I'm always looking for new things to tap on and make sounds with. Not sure why I'm all fluttery right now, but I was just feeling the urge. And I've also been wanting to do a what I eat in a day sort of video, but I haven't gotten organized enough yet to pull that off. But I thought this could be a step in that direction to just show you some of my favorite pantry staples and things that I keep in my kitchen for quick and easy meals. So before we dive into that, on a completely unrelated side note, I wanted to show you my t-shirt, which I love, which has a grouping, I'm going to say a quintet, I believe, of Jeff Goldblums on it. You can see we have all these various Jeff Goldblums at different phases in his life and career. And down at the bottom it says, Jeff and the Goldblums, Greatest Hits, Volume 1. And my sister-in-law and I kind of have a thing with Jeff Goldblum, specifically because we love the Jurassic Park movies so much, and it started out with us getting each other Jurassic Park themed things, and then it turned into just getting Jeff Goldblum themed things in general. And so I saw this shirt on Etsy and I got it for her. I got her one for Christmas this year, and I liked it so much and thought it was so funny and cute that I got one for myself as well. So I know that there's Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park on here, and him in Independence Day, and then I'm not sure exactly what all the other renderings are of him, but I just think it's hilarious and cute, and so I wanted to point it out to you. And it is from an Etsy shop called New Yorker, G-N-U, Yorker, like the animal, like a new. And I will put a link to their shop because they have all sorts of cute, funny t-shirts on this theme. They have one that's Nicholas and the Cages, and they have one that's a bunch of Angela Lansbury's, and they have one that is the Samuel L. Jackson 5 with 5 different Samuel L. Jacksons on it. And I just found that really amusing and cute, and my wrist keeps cracking when I move it, so I'll try to stop gesturing so much in case the wrist cracking is not that relaxing. But anyway, just wanted to give you a tiny little bit of a t-shirt sounds here and show you all my cute Jeff Goldblums. And Jeff Goldblum really is quite a talented musician. There goes my wrist again. He's a great piano player and singer. We actually have one of his albums. It's sort of like lounge piano bar type music, but it's actually quite good. So check out Jeff Goldblum if you've never listened to his music. Okay, so having given that completely random and unrelated intro, let's dive in to some pantry items. So the first thing I have is a lovely box, which I thought would make a good box to tap on, since I know I have many box tapping fans in my audience. When I do unboxing videos, I always make sure to spend a nice long amount of time with the box itself, since that can be such a nice trigger. Oh, so here today, straight from my pantry, we have this lovely box of Bob's Red Mill Instant Oatmeal. It is naturally flavored brown sugar and maple. And I am a huge, huge oatmeal and porridge person. I eat some sort of porridge or oatmeal or gruel or cream of wheat or something like that just about every morning of my life, even in the warmer months. And I am a big fan of making it on the stove. You know, I have many varieties of bulk oats that I keep on hand. I like to use steel cut oats and oat bran, and I'm just an oaty girl. I like oatmeal cookies and pretty much any snack with oats in it. But as of late, as you all know, I have been going through some strenuous times in my life and have needed things to be really easy for myself. So lately, I have been relying on these lovely, convenient oatmeal packets. And like I said, I do love to make a big pot of oatmeal with lots of good stuff in it. And, you know, you can make a pot of oatmeal or other kinds of porridge and keep it in the fridge and reheat it and use it for the week. And I do like to do that, particularly in the winter. But if you do need something a little quicker and more convenient, I have found these to be my go-to oatmeal packets, because I have found that some oatmeal packets, well, I sort of have two main issues with oatmeal packets. One is that it's getting harder to find oatmeal packets that don't have other random things in them other than oatmeal. Ones that don't have, you know, monk fruit sweetener or pea protein or other various things in them, which, you know, is fine if you are looking for those extra boosts in your oatmeal. More power to you. But I like to keep things pretty simple. Oh, there's a fuzz there on my oatmeal. I like to keep things pretty simple. And this is just a simple brown sugar and maple oatmeal packet. Ooh, that sounds neat, the packets inside the box. And I also want an oatmeal packet that will actually get cooked and fully soft by pouring boiling water onto it. I am not really a microwave person, so I like to make my instant oatmeal with boiling water. So I use one of these packets. Let me open the box here. This is one that is already open, so I will open the flap, and we have our lovely oatmeal packets in there. I'll take one out. I don't know about that sound. Hopefully it was okay. And I will take one of these oatmeal packets and, let's see. Very interesting. I'm always so curious about what these things will sound like on the microphone. Shake it up a little bit, not whack myself in the face with it. So I take this little oatmeal packet and I pour it into, I have kind of these like big coffee mugs, like wide mouth, you know, old school coffee mugs, and I pour this into there, and then the one thing I do sometimes add is a few chia seeds, because I find that they are helpful for my digestion and my regularity, since we're talking about oats and things anyway. And so sometimes I will put some chia seeds on top, and if I'm really feeling fancy, sometimes I will chop up a pear, because I love pears, especially if I have a nice juicy ripe pear, and I will put some chopped pear on top, and then I will get my water nice and boiling in my kettle and pour that over until everything is covered. You want to make sure you work with your oatmeal and figure out what the right amount of water is for your vessel, because that is very key. I have worked on that and perfected that with the particular mug that I use. And then I usually put a little plate, like a little saucer or bread plate on top of my mug to seal in the boily goodness, and then let that sit for, I don't know, maybe five or 6 minutes, and then remove the lid and stir it up, and it's always just perfect. And I find that with some oatmeal packets, here, I think I'll put this back in the box so I can tap on the box a little more, because that was very nice. Put this back in. I find that with some oatmeal packets, like with your classic Quaker oatmeal packets, the oat bits are so tiny and so chopped up that they just kind of get pasty and turn to mush no matter what you do, and the texture isn't very nice, in my opinion. And then with some brands of oatmeal packets, if you use boiling water, the oats don't really get fully cooked. Like, I tried the Kind oatmeal packets, and they were pretty tasty, but the oats were still a little bit hard for my liking. And so Bob here has come through for me, and I feel like these oatmeal packets deliver a very nice texture with the boiling water method. So there is my little tutorial and a review of oatmeal packets. And I do really like Bob's Red Mill as a brand. I really like their cream of wheat as well, their Farina creamy wheat that comes in a bag. I enjoy that as one of my breakfast options. And I recently tried some of their bars. They're like oat bars. I think they're called Bob bars. I got a peanut butter chocolate one of those because I used to rely on bars a lot in my diet, and I try not to do that so much, but it's still good to have a few emergency bars on hand, and I really enjoyed the Bob's bar that I had. So this is our pantry item number 1, the Bob's Red Mill instant oatmeal packets. And boy, I really like this box. I could just keep going with this box. Okay, for all you boxy boxers out there, I will remember this. I've been contemplating doing an Oops All Boxes unboxing video where we do an unboxing, but we don't actually take anything out of the boxes. We just tap on the boxes for a good long time. And that's sort of a tribute to a variety of Cap'n Crunch cereal. Cap'n, no time for the T there, of Captain Crunch cereal that was out years ago. That was the Crunch Berries variety, but it was Oops All Crunch Berries. And so it was just the Crunch Berries and not any actual Cap'n Crunch squares in it. And one of my friends and I got on a big kick about what if they did that with other products, like Oops All something else. And the funniest one we came up with was Handy Snacks, those little cheese and crackers that they used to have when I was a kid. I assume they still have them, that come in a little plastic sort of case, a little packet, and they have a little red stick that you use to scoop out the cheese and put it on the crackers. And we said, what if they made Handy Snacks Oops All Red Sticks? That gives you a little glimpse into the ridiculous humor of my friend circle. But thank you, Bob's Oatmeal, for your lovely sounds. Okay, I will put this down now. I'll try to let go of you, Bob. For now, we'll put Bob to the side. And continuing on the theme of breakfast, I want to show you my go-to breakfast beverage. And as I've shared on this channel before, unfortunately, I cannot do coffee anymore at all, not even decaf. It just bothers my stomach. And I can't even do black tea anymore, which is a tragedy to me because milky black tea is one of my favorite things in the whole world. But I am nothing if not creative, and I make do. And I have recently discovered something that I love that I have here in this mason jar. We'll see how it sounds. And it is called, don't know how much of a sound that will make. This is called, as you can see on my little label on the top, you can always rely on these plastic reusable mason jar tops for some good tapping. This is called Dandy. It's actually called Dandy Blend, and it is a dandelion root based coffee. And there's no actual coffee in it. There are a couple other roots in it, maybe chicory, which I can't remember right now because the bag that this came in, I was not very efficient when I opened it, and I kind of messed up the resealable part, so I transferred it to this jar. But it is delicious, and it has a very fine texture, so it dissolves very well in hot water or in milk. And it gives you a very coffee-esque experience and aroma and flavor. It doesn't taste just like coffee, but it is very tasty of its own accord. And it has the added benefit of being really healthy because dandelion root is quite good for you and a nice source of healthy bitters in the diet. And so I'm just thrilled to have discovered this and started enjoying it pretty much every morning. And of course you can harvest dandelion root and dry it and make your own dandelion coffee, but it takes quite a lot of root to do that, so I have never attempted that. Although I do enjoy dandelion greens, and sometimes I use dandelion root just as a root vegetable. You can roast it like carrots or anything else if you get a nice big dandelion root, and that is another delicious, tasty, nutritious thing to do. But this is my Dandy Blend. So you can look that up if you are interested. I bought it for the first time at our co-op. I think when I need to refill this, I'm going to buy it directly from their website because it's a little more affordable that way, I think. But it makes me really happy. So if you are looking for a coffee alternative, you might try some Dandy Blend. I'll see if I can take the lid off here and give you just a little bit of lid action. It really does smell lovely. I'll see if I can, hopefully you can see it there. It does have a nice, very finely ground consistency. And like I said, it does dissolve well. And it has a little bit of that, like, burnt instant coffee smell, which, you know, gives it that realisticness. That realistic instant coffee sensation. My Dandy Blend. So what I really love to use with this Dandy Blend is my next item. Tiny bit more tapping there for you. Is my next item, which is this Rise Organic Oat Milk. And now I don't know how this will, I've never recorded any kind of a Tetra Pak milk type item before on the microphone. This is an unopened one of these because I didn't want to risk it flying everywhere. Ooh. So we can give it a nice good slosh. Give it a nice good slosh. And as we all know, there are many milks out on the market right now. Soy milk and oat milk and almond milk and milk made out of just about any nut or seed you can imagine, in addition to normal, regular old cow's milk. And so I've experimented with a lot of different milks. I am open to all varieties of milk in my life. And this one is one that I just particularly enjoy. This is their vanilla flavor. And they do make containers of this milk that are like a latte, that are the milk with coffee already combined in it. And that's how I actually discovered this brand. I received one of those as a free sample, one of the ones with coffee in it. And boy, it was good. It was tasty. I took a chance and drank some of it. That was quite a few months ago, and it was good, but it did kind of do a number on me, and any kind of coffee or caffeine just kind of puts my head into a tailspin these days. My head into a tailspin, my head into a headspin. It just gives me a headache and kind of makes me cranky and angry when I drink coffee these days. So, but I really liked the consistency of it. And so when I saw that they also make just this regular oat milk, I decided to try it, and I really like it. So it says, goes great with breakfast, barista approved, loved by kids too. And I think this is actually it's Rise Brewing Company. They're like a coffee company. They make, I don't know, what do they call it? Nitro coffee? I don't even know exactly what that means. Just like super strong coffee. And I guess they wanted to try to make a really good quality milk to complement their coffee. And so they got into the milk business as well. So my ideal, wonderful cuppa in the morning these days is to heat some of this vanilla oat milk up in a little saucepan on the stove. And then I add in probably maybe like, I don't know, 3/4 of a cup of this. I just like to have a small little morning beverage. And then a tablespoon of my Dandy blend mixed in with this. And I, zhuzh it all up nicely with a little whisk. And, oh, got louder that time. And it's really delicious. And occasionally I'll put a little bit of cocoa powder and maybe a little bit of sugar in with it as well, like some coconut sugar or brown sugar to make it more like a latte. But usually I just stick with the milk because this milk has a nice sweetness to it anyway. The milk and the Dandy. And it's all good. And I do like that on this milk, it says here on the back, and it also says it on the top, shake well, dance often. It says that on the top as well. So we have certainly shaken this one up. So it will be ready to go. And that's the nice thing about the Dandy, because it's not really coffee. If I decide I want to have a second cup later in the morning, I certainly can. I'm not much of a black coffee person, but I imagine the Dandy would make a very nice cup of black coffee as well if you just did it with hot water and, got it to the ratio that you liked. Okay. See, this is my problem with these videos, is I want to spend an hour with each item, so it takes me forever. Okay, so that's been kind of my go-to breakfast these days when I'm just trying to get myself fed and have a little bit of pleasure in my breakfast without it being too complicated. And I am like a hobbit. Usually when I have oatmeal for breakfast, I have that pretty early in the morning. And so then I usually have a second breakfast later on in the morning, which actually can take me to my next item, which is this sunflower seed butter. This is Sunbutter, organic sunflower seed butter. And I love this stuff. It is very similar to peanut butter, in consistency and flavor, really. I think it tastes a lot like peanut butter. So it's great for people who can't have peanuts, or, you know, situations where there are peanut allergies, and there are a lot of no peanut zones these days because of that sort of thing. I just love the flavor of it, and I love the consistency and the texture of this. It's very, very smooth, and it doesn't, I don't know, I feel like it's easier to deal with than some other natural nut butters that get really oily and separate. So often, a favorite second breakfast for me is to have a piece of toast with this Sunbutter on it. And then that way I'm getting some protein from the sunflower seeds. And they're just very good for you in a lot of ways. They have a lot of good nutrients and a lot of good healthy fats. And I think in my winter favorites video, I made some sounds with the loaf of cinnamon raisin bread that I really love, the bread shed cinnamon raisin bread. And boy, when I can find that and I have a piece of cinnamon raisin toast with the sunflower seed butter on it, that is just lovely. Maybe sprinkle a little cinnamon and a little sprinkling of sea salt on top. That is good stuff. So I would encourage you, if you've never tried sunflower seed butter, maybe give it a whirl. It was so cute. My dad was fascinated with this. He was like, it's like peanut butter, but made out of sunflowers? And I was like, yeah, you know, not the actual flowers, the seeds, but pretty cool. And the other interesting tidbit about this is you can, you know, bake with it and use it in place of peanut butter in cookie and baked good recipes, but there's some compound or something in it that turns green when it gets heated. There's nothing, maybe when it's just baked, I don't know if you heated it in something on the stove, if it would, but it's nothing bad. It's just the chlorophyll in the sunflower seeds. But if you bake peanut butter cookies, like use a peanut butter cookie recipe and use this instead, your cookies will turn green on the inside. And the first time that ever happened to me, I was like, whoa, what is going on? So I looked it up online, and that's what happens. So if you want to make green cookies, like for St. Patrick's Day or for some other theme, or just to give someone a surprise and they're baked good, you can try using sunflower butter. So this is straight from my fridge. This one is almost gone, but I will give you some lid time with this one. And you can see the sunflower butter in there. It's very creamy and delicious. It smells lovely. Waft some of it over to you there. And it really is one of my favorite treats. So that's another thing, you know, I am a person that can get hangry sometimes. And so I feel like the oatmeal packets are great for that because you can make them so quickly. And peanut butter toast, any kind of nut butter toast, or the sunflower butter toast is another one of my go-tos when I'm hangry to give myself some instant relief. So that's very useful. Sunflower butter. Okay, I have one more item one more item that I'm going to show you today. I guess I had 5 items here, so these are 5 of the most favorite things I've been using lately in my pantry. And this last one is kind of funny. This is sort of a slightly more upscale version of the ramen noodle. So we're all familiar with the top ramen, I think, that, is very inexpensive and is the staple of college students everywhere, as it was for me when I was in college. And I am a big noodle person. I really, really love noodles. I don't know if this is going to be too crinkly. I always get hesitant with the crinkles. I don't want them to be too loud. Let me know if you like this crinkliness. Okay, resituated myself there for a moment. I love noodles, and back when I had my sort of high-stress, high-test job where I was traveling a lot, and I would travel into New York City a lot, that was my favorite thing about going to the city, was the plethora of amazing noodles and ramen and dishes like that I could get, just everywhere. And they were so satisfying, and that was one of my favorite things. And so since I don't really travel to the city that often anymore, I have missed my noodles. And I have some good recipes for noodle dishes that I like to make. But again, sometimes you just need something quick and easy, particularly for me lately. I have really needed meals that take 0 effort and are satisfying and nourishing to me. So I decided to try this ramen that I found at the co-op. The brand is very small up here. It's called Muso, M-U-S-O, since 1953 from Japan. And this is organic ramen. And this is the miso flavor. They also have a shoyu flavor, which is a little more seaweedy. I do like that one as well, but this is my favorite. And as it touts on the back, they are ready in 4 minutes. And so you just boil some water, throw the noodles in. It's a nice block of noodles. And as they tell you here on the front, it comes with a packet of liquid broth. So it's not just the powdery bouillon. It is a little packet of actual liquidy broth. They are vegan, and they are non-fried noodles. So, not that I have anything against fried noodles, but these do have an amazing flavor. It says, typically ramen noodles are fried in oil to par cook and dehydrate them, but our Muso from Japan organic ramen is air dried. Our concentrated broth is made with all vegan ingredients and full of umami flavor. We know you will enjoy our wholesome organic ramen. So I am not vegan, but I enjoy a lot of vegan food and vegan products. And I really, really love these noodles. So the first time I made a packet of them, and they give you a specific amount of water to boil them in, to mix the little broth mix with to make it more brothy. I like mine to be a little less brothy. That's how I used to make ramen back in the day. My freshman year college roommate, who was named Jen, shout out to you, Jen, hope you're doing well. She used to make her ramen and drain all of the water off of them and then put butter in it. And that was genius. she would just put butter and the little spicy packet, and that was some good stuff. So she inspired me long ago to make my ramen a little less watery for more intense flavor, as if it wasn't salty enough. We wanted to make it a little more salty. So with this, I just, I'm not particular about the amount of water I boil. I boil some water in a small packet, in a small pot, and then I add the ramen and boil it for 4 minutes, as it says, and it actually does cook in that amount of time. I always appreciate it when noodles are honest about how long they take to cook, because sometimes pasta takes longer than the package says. And then you just squeeze the little packet of broth in there on it and mix it all up, and it's lovely. And sometimes I will mix some baby spinach or arugula in with it. Or if I'm feeling really fancy, I might saute some mushrooms to add. You know, you could add anything you like, and it makes a really good little meal. So, like I said, the first time I made these, it really took me back to my New York noodles and kind of hit the spot for me in a way that I hadn't had in a really long time. And so this has become one of my favorite little comfort food meals when I want something quick and easy and delicious. So thank you, Muso Organic Ramen, for giving me a little bit of NYC noodle nostalgia and giving me something quick and easy to enjoy that feels fancy and is faster and cheaper than takeout, because where I live out in the country, you can't really get takeout anyway. So it gives me that, cozy feeling that I'm having something a little bit decadent and special for myself, but it's still really easy. So those are my, I don't know if they're really my top 5, but 5 pantry favorites. The organic ramen packet. And then I love to go backwards through the things that I showed you in a video. Then we have the sunflower butter. Super duper tasty and very versatile. I also like to use this to make sauces, to make sort of like a peanut sauce, but sunflower seed butter sauce. If you just add a little like lemon juice and olive oil and maple syrup to it, and a little bit of water if need be, and then you've suddenly got an instant little sauce that you can put on pasta or use as salad dressing, or I really like to put it on roasted vegetables or like quinoa or something like that. I really believe that sauces are the key to making your food really delicious. If you have good sauces and condiments, then even the most simple foods can be really delicious. I like to make pesto and also buy pesto and keep that in my fridge, because that can make anything. That can make just like plain rice or quinoa into a really lovely meal. So we have the Sunbutter, and then we had the super sloshy and fun vanilla oat milk. That is such a cool liquid sound. Usually with liquid sounds, people do spray bottles and things like that. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone do a carton of milk like this. Maybe I have discovered a new trigger. Let me know if you like the sloshy milk carton sounds. And then we had the Dandy Blend coffee alternative. so yummy and such a treat for me, and maybe for anyone else who has had to give up coffee to keep their anxiety at bay. You know, that's a hard thing because coffee is it's a big part of culture, you know. And so sometimes you can feel kind of left out when you can't have coffee or choose not to have coffee. So this is a nice little morning ritual for me that makes me feel very fancy and taken care of. And I will say, it doesn't give you a buzz like coffee, but I think it is a bit energizing, and it is also very grounding. And, I think sometimes when I was looking for a buzz or something from coffee, what I really wanted was just to feel more grounded and focused. And I think this does help with that effect. So the Dandy blend. And then, this is why I wanted to do this, right? Just so I could pick up the oatmeal box one last time. And I could sign off with the Bob's Red Mill oatmeal packets in this lovely maybe that was too much, in this lovely tippity-tappity box. So thank you as always for hanging out with me and spending time with me today. I have been sleeping better lately, so I am feeling a little more peppy and energized, and probably shows in this video today that I'm in a happy mood today. And so I wanted to share that positive energy with you and share a few of these, simple things that I keep in my pantry that, make my life a little easier and also bring me some nourishment and some pleasure, which is important. So, we will sign off with Bob here, good old Bob, who sold the company to his employees a number of years ago, which I think is a really cool thing. Bob's Red Mill is an employee-owned co-op. I think it still is anyway. Nice little maple leaf there. Thank you as always for watching and listening and hanging out with me. I wish you a beautiful day. Take good care of yourself. Rest well. And I'll see you again soon. Yeah, I'll just be